Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
This is an interesting one. Catfish stories. It just blows me away, and I'm saddened by people that actually are lonely enough to fall into the trap of the catfish.
I think that I have to step in very early here. When you paint people like that, as like sad and lonely,
like Ando.
No, not that kind of painting. I think.
Have we got that Ando original?
I think it is somewhere. Is it floating around or is it my house?
Actually, we have got an amazing prize for Kate today.
What?
Later on in the show, Impreza for Impreza. Yeah. We'll do that later on. We'll get more details.
I don't want you to say sad and lonely about these people because I think that's...
Okay, well, if this happened to you, I would be surprised you had enough time in your day to focus on what's going on here. So I suggest they have enough time to commit to somebody who's catfishing. That's what concerns me.
Okay.
And you know what? This does happen more than you think, where someone is, through social media or email, whatever it might be, is contacting someone pretending to be somebody else. This story was on 60 Minutes, and it's been floating around for a while because we know Lincoln Lewis, son of Wally Lewis and Home and Away star, was caught up in this, but he was completely innocent, had nothing to do with it. So this was a woman by the name of Lydia who over a decade pretended to be Lincoln Lewis.
Yeah.
This story is extraordinary.
Incredible.
So this woman first off met Lincoln Lewis on an aeroplane. She was a flight attendant and Lincoln Lewis was on the plane. So they started chatting. Anyway, she must have taken to social media to say on Facebook, "Great flight today. Can't believe it had Lincoln Lewis on there."
Oh,
Awesome.
That's right, because there is a photo of her standing in the aisle in her uniform.
Can't believe I got to meet Lincoln Lewis.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then it went on, and somebody then obviously was able to get her details and start messaging her, pretending to be Lincoln Lewis.
Saying, great, it was so good to meet you on the flight the other day. You're lovely.
And this is how catfishing often starts.
Yeah.
So
who's your favourite Home and Away character?
Yep, and it was Ray Marr, Alf Stewart, which was great.
Oh, that's offensive.
Was Kate in the top
didn't
5?
Get a mention, no. No.
Wow.
Angel did, but not Kate.
Angel, well, they've been a
Melissa
long-time
George.
viewer.
Yeah, they've been a
I know
long-time
who
viewer.
Angel is.
I'll have to tell you a little bit more about that place. Anyway, so this went on and on. It starts with basic chat, then it becomes friendship, then it becomes more intimate where they start sharing details and they're going back and forth. So this girl by the name of Jess constantly wanted to catch up with Lincoln Lewis. When are we going to meet? When can we chat? Finally, it got to this stage. Have a listen to this from 6.
In 2013, Lincoln suddenly wanted to be more than just friends. Jess was pleasantly surprised by the celebrity's attention.
I still remember the actual day that it all changed. I recall him saying, "Can I call you?" And I was like, oh my God, okay. He wants to call me. And I thought, wow, okay, why not? So I gave him my number.
How did she get past that bit? How did the catfish get past
Because
the
the
phone
catfish
call?
is a woman.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So how do you...
The phone calls would never happen.
Right.
The calls would continue to be missed. So they were constantly trying to work out. Then she was able to work out how she could have a voice sounding like Lincoln Lewis on the end of the phone.
No
She was
way.
doing impersonations. There you go.
G'day, guys. Welcome to the Bay. It's Lincoln Lewis. My dad's the king.
Because he is up and about.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great energy. How's this, though? So it went from conversation to this girl, Jess, continuously saying, "I want to meet you. We must spend time together."
Of course.
Whole heap of excuses continued to flow. Then she said, "Why don't we Skype? Why don't we jump on FaceTime, right? And we can have a chat via Zoom."
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the next thing you know, the Zoom connects. She says, "I remember seeing him and talking."
It's a cutout.
I'd say...
Was it? No, I'm thinking...
It's not a cutout.
Is it like just his mouth's not moving and she's...
What a cardboard cutout. How's it going? Welcome to the Bay.
Well, I don't know. How do you get away with that?
So she would say something and then there was a bit of a delay, and a few minutes later you would see him and he was laughing and giggling. He didn't say too much. She was like, "Oh my God, it's actually Lincoln Lewis.
This is what we
I'm
used
on
to
a
do.
Zoom with Lincoln Lewis."
Yeah, and he's nervous.
Yeah, and he's nervous.
This is what we used to do with Dickie, remember? We got him with the Robbie Williams stitch-up.
That's true.
And we said we were Robbie Williams, but they were just sound bites from Robbie Williams' interviews.
So what she'd done, she'd managed to trick this girl Jess into thinking she was speaking to Lincoln Lewis by using a software that can take video footage of a person and turn it into a real-life scenario.
Well, it's worse now with AI, isn't it?
That's how far it got.
Oh, my goodness.
So she's starting to think, I'm in a relationship with Lincoln Lewis. We're best friends and this is tight and everything's going really well. Then there was a moment where he was meant to be on an aeroplane flying to somewhere else, and there was a breakdown in details, which led her to finally say, hey, who are you and who am I talking to? The other person thought, we've been so close now, if I tell him who I really am, I'm sure that'll be fine as well. But it shattered this poor girl's life.
Oh, so the woman who was doing the catfishing was quite happy to offer up the
friendship as well.
So from her side, was she trying to be awful to these people she was catfishing?
Not
or
really.
Was she getting something out of it? She thought she was in a relationship as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy. Casey Donovan was catfished.
Yeah, yes. Big time.
And she thought she was almost in an online relationship with a guy who then
Broughton or something was his name.
Who then turned up at the front door, turned out to be a woman.
Yep, spot on.
And then they started a relationship in person anyway. Oh, what a twist in the old fishing tale.
A lot of twisting in there.
That is a huge...
I cannot get over these stories.
Oh my God, there's people out there that think they're in relationships with Kate Ritchie.
No, they don't.
There could be.
Well, no.
How lucky
I wouldn't wish that on them.
Rings in all the time.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.